Hello everyone, welcome back to Smite in the Sewer. Rocky goes above, we're looking for Pagon here, baby! You're coming to party, you're gonna party in the grave. Shinto gets put down for trade by Rat Milk.
Holy pentashell, Batman!
Pero nubes, porfa, mire atrás, es un infeliz de horror. No puede ser yo, inmediatamente matado por parte de Well aún antes del partido empezó.
Movimientos escuchado y acá está el apoyo. Ha reversado los ojos, ha reversado los miembros. Jisoo muerto, matanza por Belona. Y
F6.
dos miembros más puede ser F6. Ellos han tomado tus consejos, Piku.
F6.
Juan ha
F6.
perdido.
Anubis lived! Again! What am I...
Get him! Some instigation there, but the spear wins this time around. Gets the double kill. Beautiful work by Haddix. Unfavorable odds. They take it in spades. Bologna trying to finish the job now. Chains and whips excite me, they say. That Gunger's Might does awful damage. The minions trying to participate. The bludgeon will not be juked, but they might be outranged. The Amanita, and now with renewed fighting spirit, they dive back in. Delayed triple kill. Haddix stays strong. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the quickness with Smite in the Sewer. Haddix in the ground. First blood. Wow, Tess, nice work. Just in time. I'm Deelo. Joined here by Blaine.
To the pregame, the clock hasn't even started yet. What?
Yeah, I'm about to say, 30 seconds in the game, buddy. You sure about that one? Welcome to Smite 2 casting, all right? It's kooky out here.
Put out a bunch of damage, gathering around this Anubis, popping 5 shells. 5, Deelo, 5
Show the sheet.
shells.
Show the sheet.
It's time.
No,
Do this
Tess,
cheat.
bring it back. Tess, bring it back. We gotta show
Production, put me back in the sheet. I
Tess,
don't care
bring it
about
back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Look at this. Look at this.
Look at that.
Buy,
Look at that.
Buy right
Look
now.
at that. Profit.
Right now. Boom. You win. You literally win all the time. It's
Hello, everyone, and welcome to some more Smite in the Sewer action here today. I'm Deelo, joined here by Musi. We got Tess, Almighty Eye in the sky, and we got a nice EMEA banger here for you in this Swiss series. I believe it's the 1-2 bracket. It's going to be between our friends on, if I'm not mistaken, Baking Soda versus Look Within. Musi, how are we feeling?
feeling pretty strong so far. Both of these teams are facing the possibility of elimination. So this
Ooh.
is a huge set for both of these teams. It's really going to come down to the wire. I'm hoping to see the best out of both Baking Soda and Look Within, and I'm excited to get into these picks and bans because that's where it all starts, baby.
And given the fact that you have your back up against the wall, you're not playing to move on, which I feel like there's a different energy that surrounds that. You're playing with your last scraps of dignity to make sure you can stay in to fight another day. And with that comes a certain level of desperation. And there's desperation on both sides, whether it be to move on to the next round or just stay in, hang in there. And I think what that might force is a bit more revolving around this meta where you're just kind of with reckless, actually, at the same time, I don't know, philosophy here, Musi. What do you think? When you're drafting, do you decide when you're in this desperate scenario to go with what is most comforting to you, or just what the meta says is best?
So you have the benefit that this is a best of 3 set. There is a little bit of space that you can play with picks and bans. My personal opinion is that when your back's against the wall, you have to try to find that guarantee win, play what's comfortable. Play what you know you can execute really well. If you know that you're a menace hitting Thanatos sides, you hit him from downtown, 3-point shot from across the court, Thanatos side. If you can do that, by God, lock the Thanatos. You need it. This is your moment, right? But if you try to force yourself into picks that, yeah, okay. Loki's like the best god in the game, right? Okay, I gotta play Loki. I just don't like playing Loki. I'm not good at playing
Mm-hmm.
Loki. I can't do it. Set it down. Ban Loki, take it off the table, and then lock the gods that you're comfortable with. Play how your team knows how to play. And I want to see if they do that in these picks and bans.
That's some reasonable advice. Yeah, at the end of the day, if you're caught with your pants down making an imitation of what's not really you, be yourself at the end of the day, and you never lose unless you lose. But hopefully you won't lose is going to be the case for our friends here. And just considering that, I don't know, what gods do you feel like the people are going to be comfortable with? What gods have been feeling good lately with these latest patches that have fallen among us?
So recently, Baron Samedi is just not even a god that you want to have in your games. He's so strong. The cooldown attached to his heal, he's got the root, the alt. There's so much happening there. But Amaterasu's back and has been making a name for herself,
Yes, she
especially this
has.
weekend. So I think we're gonna expect to see some Ama picks, some Baron bans. Fenrir is still a god in the game. There's so many good options. It's gonna be up to the teams to figure out what do they want to prioritize.
Well, we're gonna have to figure out right now as we get into these P's and B's right here. A god that I would love to see, just based on the fact that he was buffed so heavily, but I understand why we still don't, is Ares, man. We have not seen a Chain of Flame for so long, I feel. They upgraded the mitigations on that No Escape, but it's just not enough when Talisman is so strong, which is sad to see. Odin, still strong despite that shell nerf. Actually, in favor of that shell nerf, because that relic has such a longer cooldown, gods with these player-made obstacles are going to be a lot more prioritized, and Fenrir as well banned away.
And Fenrir is just one of those gods that can do it all, right? So it makes a lot of sense to take that away. Fenrir, we've seen Fenrir support, a Fenrir jungle. You can run Fenrir in solo. I would not be surprised if some team was like, yeah, we're actually running Fenrir mid right now. We're finding a lot of success
Broken.
because Ragnarok is just a really good tool. But you know what that leaves open? Baron Samdi for We Got Soda. That is a first pick and a half, and you can build just about anything around that. Look within. Leave some options for like Jing Wei or Loki, like being hovered there. So it's not all bad, but finding a Baron is an uphill battle for sure.
But the best god in the game, like you said, Musi, is going to be the counter, and that Yamoja as well. We got baking soda say. We might need to get some shells on top of it. You know what I will say as well? We got baking soda. We got BS. Baron Samedi. BS. It's all coming together here. Sasano is going to be the next one on the mark. So these jungle picks are being heavily prioritized by both sides. Kukulkan's going to follow it up. So we got a Category 5 Storm on our hands.
Absolutely. And Spirit of the Nine Winds is an especially useful tool for mid laners because Sunder, like we've been talking about, it's not as useful of a confirmed tool because it only does 500 damage once you hit that level 13 mark, right? You can't get as
Yeah.
much from it. So you have Kukulkanal to help secure it. But look within opting for this Neith and Amaterasu, who now that she's back in these games, we see that she's had a lot of success. She brings so much to a team just in the form of an aura. You build a Triton's Conch on Amaterasu, you slap a Shogun's on there. She makes good use of Bracer. So many items
Yeah.
that she can build, and they're all helpful for her team. So I'm really excited to see that pick on the side of Look Within.
Sir Nunos being the follow-up lock here for We Got Baking Soda, they're taking a lot of ultimates away that honestly I would have loved to see you locked within Yamoja walls if Look Within decided to pick them up themselves. That Spirit of the Nine Winds marching down that corridor, that Wild Hunt being placed within those confined spaces is really nice. And this is exactly what I wanted to see afterwards. And Athena to set it all up. This is a beautiful combination. I'm a big fan of the caveman combo. Taunt into something big.
And when you have Spirit of the Nine Winds, you have Wild Hunt, you've got Susanoo ult as well. There's a lot for this Athena taunt to find for their team. And with Baron Samdi there as well, the setup is just there. They have so much setup and so much follow up as well. The Morrigan over here for Look Within, I love Morrigan last picks because it just looks at the enemy comp and goes, hey, I have that too. That's a good
Mm-hmm.
team you have. I want an Athena. I want a Kukulkan. I want the best character in the game, Baron Samdi. So having that along with your Lokis and your Yamojas and Amaterasus of the world is a very, very strong combination. You now have access to every single good piece of pie in this game.
You know what, Musi? I was casting a Smite 1 game recently where it was an Athena versus a Morgan, and I think that Athena being the pick for that changeling is an underrated choice then and still maybe is now too, though I think Athena's getting a bit more respect in Smite 2 lately, especially in that jungle role, which can't imagine we're going to be seeing here around this time, which is unfortunate, but you never know. I love the fact that any 1v1 can quickly become a 1v2 and then quickly we can become a 2v2 to respond. So I'm expecting this to be a lot of the rotationality from this Defender of Olympus, whether it be used by Morgan or Athena. We're going to find out how it all works out as we get here into game one. We got Baking Soda versus Look Within. Let's see how it all stacks up.
We're so back, gamers. And I was thinking about what you're saying, where the Morgan transforms into Athena, chases after that Athena with the ultimate, and you're right on the money there. Because the big thing that makes Athena so strong is that anytime there's a fight, anytime a jungler wants to gank somewhere, they need to take into account, okay, Athena's going to be here too, right? Like 100%. They're level 5. I have to not only try to gank this ADC, not only try to gank the solo laner, I need to deal with the Athena that's going to come here as well. Now, Caddy can be like, hey, Zaylin, you can be here too, right? I can have a taunt too, right? So being able to chase that Athena around and help their team is going to be really crucial for Look Within. But also keep in mind, they also have characters like Neith with a global presence as well. So now Zaylin has the option to the 1-2 punch that we've seen. You and I saw that against Haddix, I think it was last week, the 1-2 Neith punch over to solo lane. It's real. They got shooters out here with the Morgan and with Neith. So I wouldn't be surprised to see either a Neith transformation, a Athena transformation, or even Baron Sambi or Loki. There's so many good options here. We could talk the entire set about how versatile the Morgan is. So I'll limit myself to those two things, but I'd be genuinely surprised if we didn't see that.
Global Ultimates is going to be a great target, but so is this It's going to force the shell early. And I think, speaking of relics, we saw that Loki actually use that blink, try to finish off Kukulkan in the mid lane. Didn't quite work out, so we're seeing a bit of early relic expenditure in the mid and left lanes, but I like to see people getting aggressive early. And your point about the fact that, yeah, we can have backup really kind of forces the issue here for these jungles to finish their ganks quickly before things quickly get out of hand, because the more gods you get into the shuffle, the more chips you're pushing into the center of the table, the more you're putting up at risk. So it's a question of how many seconds is the right amount of seconds before we decide to abandon a gank?
Honestly, if you can't clean it up within the first few round of abilities, it might be time just to walk away, right? But when you have characters like Susanoo and like Loki, both of these gods can wrap up a fight pretty quickly. Susanoo walks up, ults, yoink, dumps kit, maybe an auto, gets away. Loki, similar situation. You know, you assassinate, you got your daggers, you're flailing them all around there, you clean up, you walk away, right? If barring that, maybe it was time to leave regardless. I think one of the big things to look at is going to be these mid laners. Gods like Kukulkan have a difficult time getting away from Loki. So Loki will probably have the best chance of locking down this Kukulkan before the Athena is able to make that rotation.
So let's see. Keep an eye for those level 5s. And watch if those rotations immediately follow. Given the fact that it is an Athena support, of course, less likely to see those rotations early. But that being said, already paying a bit of TLC to our mid laner. Sonic getting some TLC from both that mid and the jungle. Could be in trouble here as they're forced into the blink as well. Barely able to escape on a sliver. And the fact that Loki does not have that blink on their side means that the jungle gets to stay alive for just a bit longer.
And notably on the side of We Got Baking Soda, I'm not seeing any Sunders. We've got one for Amaterasu over in the solo lane, which is going to help them out with this blue buff invade that they're trying to set up over there. But no Sunders for the side of Baking Soda is going to put them in a tough situation.
So will that. Dazzling offensive for our friend the Baron Samity. The rapid up at Consigned Spirits doesn't quite hit the first, gets the second. That Vivid Gaze goes wide as well. Ultimates and shells. Of course, from both sides here, but at the end of the day, no one's quite feeling the worst or wear for it. Trying to get some nice jungle farm here as well, and Alfie won't be able to steal that one away. Here comes the Neith. They'll recognize their life could be up to claim. Gets the big suck, and the big first blade on to Katie. Nice kill there. Try to counter that oppression. Once they saw that reticle on their head, instantly entering that ultimate and rewarded for it.
Well, and you also get mitigations in that Baron ult, so it just might have saved his life. I mean, he's got no protections to his name. They're starting with the early Chronos pendant to go with that Sands of Time, so that heal that he has is going to be very strong. He'll be able to throw out the eye beams, he's got the snake, and his ultimate's going to be back up pretty quickly now too, to help deal with any ganks in his lane from either the Loki. If there's some pressure from the Morgan, he'll have tools available to him. So excellent building coming out of this Baron Samdi, but I worry that if they don't pivot into some protection soon, it's a double-edged sword, right? You've got all of your abilities when you want them, but if the enemy team is able to dodge and weave, if they're able to live through what you're putting out, you then put yourself in a situation where that Amaterasu can and will kill you, both with Sunder and with the Mirror.
Ooh, could definitely kill Cernunnos there after expending that dash. Wild Hunt as well as Rebuke going to be forced out. Here comes the taunt, the shell to follow. Gonna be able to still pick up that kill is Monster B onto Brandu and follows it up there onto Fates. Dual lane, absolutely mollywopped, and here comes the real Susano. I don't like your cosplaying as me. That's identity theft. Come here, Zaylin. Typhoon gonna sweep them up, and one more slash of the sword brings them down. A bit of compensation there for Nazarian.
And, I mean, that's the power of not having your Athena be level 5 yet. And look at this Baron putting so much damage onto Amaterasu. Luckily, they've got the heal. Oh my goodness, Susanoo, be careful if you're going to bite off more than you chew there, man. You did so well earlier being able to trade the kill, but meanwhile, this solo lane, this Baron, look at that trouble.
That is rough as the Assassinate falls in their back. Flurry Slash as well finishes the job. Katie picks up a nice little clean kill there. This time it does not go awry, and trying to get that solo pressure off is definitely interesting, given the fact that we're not seeing as much pressure returned by We Got Baking Soda. We're seeing instead here in the mid lane, Athena got to go aggressive there, but a backflip forced out. Now 6 minutes in, it's 2-3 in favor of Look Within, and a small gold lead spells out some good omens to come, but only 1,200. It's not too serious just yet.
And a turning point for We Got Baking Soda just happened as that Athena hits level 5. The ganks and the rotations, now Look Within needs to be a little bit more careful about what they want to commit to. They were able to get away with some of the stuff that they were doing, getting some kills, putting pressure kind of willy-nilly wherever they want. But now that Defender of Olympus is online, now that the option is available, like we were talking about before, you now have to contend with this Athena on solo lane.
It's a 3v1, and the Neatholt's not going to make up for the lack of numbers you got there. Alfie goes down. Nice kill there to return in the solo lane. I'll be feeling pretty good about that, but meanwhile, here in the duo, once again, Brandu quite in a bit of trouble there. Nice. Going to be able to use that one ability there from Morgan just to quickly finish off the kill. Just pressure being shown here in terms of these long lanes. No one really quite wants to commit to these larger 3v3 engagements. We're just trying to keep it small for now.
And Look Within doing exactly what they need to do when it comes to kind of handling an Athena. Because this is an Athena support, there is the mental inclination of like, oh, I'm gonna go to duo, and then I'm gonna ult from duo, right? So you can pretty safely gank that Cernunos because you know the Athena is going to be looking elsewhere. They're going to be looking at their solo lane, or maybe their mid lane, maybe even their jungler, out there in the wild reaches of where the buffs are. So when you notice, like, hey, I'm getting ganked by this Athena, that's Defender of Olympus on that Baron.
Oh, Baron.
Let's look at Cernuno. Speaking of Baron,
in trouble, might be going down once again. This Loki will not leave them alone to get the gold camp, but at what cost as they go down once again. Meanwhile, in the duo, let's check out what our friends are doing over here. Unfortunately, they're missing Spirits of the Nine Winds and getting Rivers rebuked as compensation. Kolkin just going to be able to back off of that one. Gold Fury not pulled quite just yet, but Loki has made that rotation. Amaterasu is getting some proxy farm, not going to try their hand at this objective. And Look Within, happy to just keep getting these small kills. They don't want to quite tilt their hand and risk this objective. They're just going to look for a few more ganks on the Baron, maybe make them tilt it a little bit more.
And Baron is a god that you want to keep down as much as possible. He doesn't have Breastplate of Valor online just yet, and this Alfie going into mid lane has me all kinds of scared.
Ooh, that was a good Neatholt there, but a better blink to get enough space that the CC didn't quite put Nazarian in the worst spot. Good work there of this defensive relic use, but that's the thing. Both times we've seen this blink used on screen, Nazarian's been using it to get away, and Loki's been using his relics to get aggressive. And that's just what we need to see from Susano. Granted, Loki kind of gets things done a bit earlier when the fights are split up. Susano needs a few items to get stacked in. With that Hydra's Lament, hopefully going to be seeing that similar aggression put on forward. Just as far as the differentials in what we need to see from a successful Susano gank versus a Loki gank, what does that look like?
Susano gank, you want to hit a big ult, you want to hit a big pull. Ideally, your Athena is there with you to lay down some taunts. If you're able to do that, they're almost assuredly dead, right? Because they don't have Talisman of Purification online. The only people with beads are the Morrigan and Neith. So if you're able to burn those beads with a taunt or a Typhoon, and then follow it up with either, again, taunt or Typhoon, it's the 1-2 punch. You got to trade one for the other, and then follow up with the other ability. So honestly, for Loki, it's about getting in there, ulting, and then killing people. For Susanoo, it's about working with your Athena to yoink people over and burn whatever you can before knocking them down.
Saw a yoink right there, but only after all the damage that Shadow had already taken thanks to a well-timed Neath ambush. And with that poke alone, Look Within now feeling confident enough to get at this Fury. Since that Kukulkan has to back, they don't have their main form of objective secure. No rotation from Ama means no Sunder on board. Here comes the Typhoon, gets to be used, but only to mark their grave. Caddy takes down Nazarian. Now the fight split up, and the Fury's been forgotten. We got Baking Soda backing off there. Not quite sure if they want to re-engage Look Within. Pick the Fury back up once more. Monster B's a bit poked out for their troubles, and Zaylin takes the form there of Sir Nunos, but Briz finds the kill on the real one before they can get upset about the identity theft. We just saw Wild Hunt placed down for a bit more damage. Here comes the secure. It's going to come a bit too late. Look Within, find that first objective.
That first Gold Fury is going to be so good for Look Within, giving them that extra bit of gold to finish their items. But Neath? Ooh, okay, you had me worried there for a second. Backflip is an excellent tool for getting out of sticky situations. But, so what this Gold Fury is going to do, it's going to help get your next batch of items online. And Neath already has Thoth and Transcendence. Loki finishing up a Jotun's Revenge is going to make sure that his items are, or rather, his abilities are constantly available. So pair that with the Transcendence, this Loki's going to be doing even more damage, going to be even more of a presence, which is bizarre to think about how a Loki is out-rotating two gods with actual global presence ultimates. You know, Neath and Athena not seeing too much success, but I will say, in the Athena games that I've been watching from these pro players, Athena is one of those gods where you kill her a lot early game and she just dies. And you go, okay, well, it doesn't look very good. And then a switch gets flipped somewhere around that mid to late game where all of a sudden the Athena team's winning, but this Kukulkan's looking pretty dead.
Definitely not winning that one, my friend. Shadow chairs out a bit too much for their own good. Here comes the Typhoon. Could find 2 targets, but the damage afterwards is not going to be enough. Now trapped within the elements of their own. Athena hops in with them. Just a splish splash around. Unfortunately, Nazarian drowns in it. Did not have a life vest. Neither did Fates. They get pulled down into the depths with them. 3 kills there in the mid lane. And this is why you didn't want to see these bigger engagements happen, because it can cost you everything.
Athena, without the element of surprise with her ultimate, kind of, cripples herself a little bit. And being forced to use that ultimate there to try to save your Susanoo is a very difficult position to be in, because now you don't have it available. Athena doesn't have any cooldown items. She's finished the Gauntlet of Thebes, and she has, the tier 2 item there, but it's not cooldown, right? So you're ulted down for a heavy chunk of time. Meanwhile, Cernos going to get in on Zaylin.
Oh, trying to use that amazing Susanoo ult against him and not going to quite work. That jet stream, though, nearly finishes them off. One more tick might have spelled the end of Cern there. That's a great counterplay back and forth. That 1v1 was a majesty to behold on both players' parts. Unfortunately, though, only one victor. There can only be one. Right now, might be one more added to the bucket there as that Loki gets taunted back in, forcing the assassinate. Now they can't get back into this fight quite as easily. Zero, though, not going to be part of it whatsoever. They get taken out there by the diving Amaterasu. Now looking for Monster B. A few more Storm Kata slashes. Still has a decent amount of Omi in their pocket to try to get away with some Riptides if they need to, and indeed they will. Trying to pursue that. Now we're looking for Amaterasu. Target switch once again. Alfie going to be taken out. A great Spirit of the Nine Winds finds both tanky targets, and they can look to dive even further. They're all full health. Athena taking the tower. The rest of the team's got to follow their lead. Here comes the River's Rebuke and the Shell. Once again, it's not going to be enough this time around. Athena's got a dip because that tower does do numbers. And that might have been enough time because Loki's wrapping around the backside. Fates might meet the end of their fate at the end of these arrows. One more basic can do the job. Fates goes down. Now Nazarian has got to run. Katie's back in action. And with one last sliver of health left, it's a horror game. Briz, though, gets the shutdown at the hands of Shadow Chair. That decoy is going to be the real MVP as Caddy takes that kill on Susanoo in the jungle. That fight just became chaos, and it's going to continue that exact same way. Kukulkan having to use that slipstream outside the tornado means no dash, but the tornado can be used to dissuade them from following. At least the danger noodle stays alive.
And that Kukulkan's going to be doing so much damage, too. They got the mana build online, and you can see there it is. Cosmic Horror getting finished off for them, too, is going to give them some cooldown and even more mana and even more intelligence to go with that already ridiculous build
It's a smart noodle
got cooking up there. Yes, one smart noodle. Got brains rocking around in that spaghetti. But big shoutouts to that Yamoja ult under that tier 1 tower, forcing the members of We Got Baking Soda to commit to that kill. At no point could they have been like, okay, you know, maybe they got folks coming along and it's time to dip, right? Maybe we got a little too aggressive. But Yamoja saying, no, you can kill me, you can do it, you gotta kill me. Buying time for Loki and Neith to whip around. But Shadow Chair staying alive, that's pretty significant, meaning that he will have more time to farm and put out damage.
Unfortunately, that damage being put right back on top of their head. It's better than I win's gonna find no targets, splits the difference between 3 members. Once again, Yamoja just waggling her hips saying, don't you want this? And We Got Baking Soda want it a bit too bad. Guy's gonna go in and they're gonna find 2 kills dropped on their heads for it. Now Fury, second one of the game, being looked at afterwards. Gonna be an attempted Typhoon steal, not gonna work. Nazarian has their life taken instead, but a steal by We Got Baking Soda. Unfortunately, we got a dead Cern as a consequence. Lamb chops cooked up there by Lick Within. They will lose the objective. They might get a nice deicide though for it. It's delayed at the hands though of Zero as they fall down. Fate's gonna be able to at least cleanse off the ability for them to say they got a real deicide, but we all know what really happened here. A nice steal at the very least by We Got Baking Soda.
Stealing that Gold Fury is going to keep you in the game a little bit longer, and it's honestly, it's what they needed. If they weren't able to steal that, the situation would be a lot worse. But denying Look Within that second pip from the Gold Fury is going to make sure that their minions aren't enhanced quite yet. But they're looking to enhance themselves here, as this Fire Giant is approaching half health, and We Got Baking Soda haven't quite sniffed it out yet. No, Fates is aware. Kukulkan wants a red buff, and Fates might be looking to make a play here.
It's better than 9 wins is up, and that's what you're going to need because it's dropping down low. Fates cannot steal it. This could. It's not going to be on the mark. The Tornado might finish the job. Fates goes down first. Does the FG go their way? It's taken by our friends of Look Within. Who even got that? No! Baking Soda again. Steal it thanks to that Tornado. Shadow Chair not going to be able to enjoy the fruits of their labor, but at the very least, they deny that big buff.
And now they have to contend with the fact, you know, We Got Baking Soda needs to deal with Look Within pushing on to these towers. They take that tier 1, they want this tier 2, but Baron wants a piece of Neve.
Ooh, might be able to find it. A nice consigned spares, but once the kit dump is there, what more do you have? If a gaze goes wide, that could cost them. Athena arrives to the scene just to chastise Zero. What have you done? Briz gonna have to retreat back to the rest of their comrades in arms. Can they do so before they die? That Spirit Arrow goes wide, taunted back in, but a good Omi heal as well as those beads to get them to safety. Now Fates is in danger, and it might cost them. They go down to the blades of Caddy. This man is divine. Baron Samity can't do much about it other than watch.
And the builds coming out from Look Within, 2 Talisman of Purifications built on the players that don't have purification beads readily available. That shows the amount of respect that they have for the CC that We Got Baking Soda can put out, and it's saving their lives. It's already paying dividends. It saved Briz there from both Athena and Baron. So they're really on the mark, making sure that they have every tool in their tool belt to use at the appropriate time. So even though Baron and Athena had FG buff there, and they still do, it's not going to be enough to confirm any kills because they just slip right away from that CC.
And the real unfortunate, Mark, was he didn't even get a kill off the back of it. I mean, had Briz been hit by that Vivid Gaze, and, you know, we could ticky-tack over all the missed abilities in the game, but at the end of the day, you do need to have the technical finesse necessary to finish off that Neath, because then Briz contributing to the fight afterwards, luring them once again in. We're just seeing quite a few times where Hubris is getting the best of We Got Baking Soda. They're getting lured in by one low health member or one tantalizing target, and then they get smacked for it. So looking into their comp, what they're capable of, what their itemization is, what do we think looks like a good fight from them? Because so far, it just does not seem like it's ever on their own terms.
So it's an uphill battle at this point, right? Look Within has a pretty significant lead, but what you need to do if you're We Got Baking Soda is we got to get a taunt to get not even like, oh, I want to set out my team. No. We got to taunt to burn some beads. We got to taunt to burn the talismans, the purifications, these relics. We got to get rid of those. And then we got to have our Baron rip open an ult. Or, I mean, if you could just get an easy taunt on that Amaterasu, that could work too.
Doesn't seem that easy, though, unfortunately, for my friend Fates, as they get body blocked and sent to the grayscale right after. They're going in. They're dedicating all their resources again. I respect your loyalty, but it's not going to be paid back in kind. Zero goes down. Zaylen stays alive somehow, and Shadow Chair just has to watch again. If you get a bit more of an up-close and personal demonstration than you wanted to, that Riptide brings them back in close. You got no way back to your tower. Monster B sends it back to the fountain instead.
So, look within, showcasing exactly what to do when We Got Baking Soda tries to do what I suggested for them, which is just ignore them and kill them. I mean, look at Susanna.
Dead. Briz. Dead. Alfie? Not dead. not bad. I mean, we'll take that. Look within, just taking every fight with impunity. Look at the way they're maneuvering, just walking through these towers like it's just weeds, dandelion fields, and prancing through the jungle like it's the exact same story. Just going to probably find any farm they can, scrounge up that Naga, and maybe look for the next Fury at this point when it comes up in a second. And it's just going to continue to worsen in that sense. 21 minutes here, 8-26. In favor of Look Within and a 10,000 gold lead. This is troublesome, Musi. What is We Got Baking Soda's way back in? Should we just be ignoring fights altogether? Can we even have a reason to stand up to this next objective, or should we just be focusing on easy, simple farm?
If you can find a pick sometime before this gold tree, that would be ideal. I mean, you could see Baron trying to put some pressure onto that Loki on the left side, and even as Shadow Chair and Fates are surging forward, I can't help but feel nervous for them because they don't have their team with them. But Look Within, they're not looking for a fight right now. They're waiting for this Loki to circle around the back and try to put up some big damage against We Got Baking Soda here.
The decoy's going to immediately split this one up, and the Blaze might split them in half. Not quite enough, though. The Typhoon doesn't find them off the back of it. Now Loki, invisible, Susano trying to hunt them down, but the rest of your team's being hunted instead. We got Baking Soda trapped within the River's Rebuke. Loki's back in action. No, it's not even Loki. The Trickster God tricks me with that Morgan Changeling, finds a kill onto Brandu, takes down Zero, but Nazarian found the real caddy and will hit a door in their head on a spit. Fates goes down to Monster B for the double kill. Kukulkan finds that kill onto Zaylen as revenge. That tornado doesn't give you refuge for long enough. Even that blink can't save you. Shadow Chair gets the steel chair there from Alfie. Finishes off that fight in a flourish. 4-2 in favor of Look Within.
And honestly, if you're We Got Baking Soda, Nezarian wants a piece of this. You can see him walking up. But if you're We Got Baking Soda, it's not even a bad loss there because he got some shutdowns here too.
Does he grab the Fury? No, not quite. When you're Susano, though, able to just kind of walk in, instantly teleport all the way back to your Phoenix without too much of a cost. I like the attempt. Unfortunately, didn't like the result if you're a fan of We Got Baking Soda. 10-30. These fights are just getting more and more out of hand. The more these fights condense, the less value your Athena has. That Defender of Olympus no longer is a way to accelerate the fight's pace. It actually slows it down. What does the role of an Athena become in terms of using that ultimate when the fights are just this much more close quarters?
Honestly, when you're in a scenario like this, maybe this is your time to try to find a little bit of farm on the other side of the map. I mean, it's similar to like if you know Smite 1, like, oh, I'm Apollo, oh, I'm Chernobog, I'm gonna go split push and then ult over when I need to. You could try to do something like that, but at this point, you just want to pop Defender of Olympus on a squishy right as the fight starts.
Might get popped themselves instead. Monster Beast, is this what you wanted, Musi? Not quite. Nazarian, is this what you wanted? One more basic finishes the job. They will fall their own kin. Briz takes down Zero as well. Shadow Chair and Brandu, the only ones left alive. Look within. Look for this next objective on this FG.
And you can see Shadow Chair wants to find a way in to contest that Fire Giant. You know, Spirit of the Nine Winds, he still has it available. He could potentially steal it, but with no way to kind of get through Zaylen, who's kind of being the guard dog there, it's going to be tough for him.
Even tougher when Cernunos is not going to follow them back out of the River's Rebuke, trying to stay inside the waves. Brandon says, I know how to swim. I don't think you do, buddy. They're going to go down for it. Another kill dropped in the bucket here of Look Within. Objective in their pockets. Towers now going down. Only one left remaining is this tier 2 in mid lane. And look at Look Within's domination of the map state. all of their structures stay standing, and the item differential is going to be huge once they start to back for this gold.
I'm curious to see what we're going to be finishing off here. You can see Amaterasu does have that Ankh online, and I love me some anti-heal against gods like Baron and even Cernunos, who has that life gain in his kit off his auto. It's not quite a life steal, but just a flat heal with his intelligence. And then you can also see Loki finishing up Soul Reaver and Heartseeker. Those are two big ticket items for Loki, being able to just throw the decoy on somebody or the...
Ooh.
Is 3. Yeah, ow, by the way. Jeez, that's a late game Neath. That's a third of your health bar gone, and Fate's looking to be gone as well.
Going in is Loki this time, but Fate's a bit more tanky than he might have bargained for. Zaylin waiting around the edge for the ambush. They almost grab it too. Fates, though, will get fallen by Caddy. Great assassinate, great teamwork, and that's just going to result in that guerrilla warfare kill. Decent poke applied there to Monster B, but that's A-OK. Yamota not lacking in health. In the case here for Alfie, as they go in, though, with that dazzling offensive, an aggressive dash from CERN could cost them as they go down, cost them their life, in fact. Rotation here from the rest of Look Within, looking to try to find this Baron Samity. You're going to have to find that Vivid Gaze gets a bit more poke, but now it's Shadow Chair left by themselves. Best realize, my friend, you have no Athena left to guard you.
You could see them grouping up around this left side. They want a piece of that noodle. Pasta time. He's going to let that rip. The fight's not even close to over at this left side Phoenix.
Phoenix will be over, though, as it's taken out by Look Within. They might look to just finish this job if they get a couple more picks. Brandu's down for 30 more seconds. The bomb has been dropped. There's a good two-man taunt, but there's nothing to follow it up. In fact, there might be no members left to follow it up as Susano nearly falls. A good life of the party, sucks in one, but again, there's no damage afterwards. It's only going to fall onto Fates as they meet their fate as well inside the throne room. We got Baking Soda on their last legs in this game one. They've got to find a way to hold strong and defend. It might just be Susano. Good Storm Kata damage on top of Amaterasu. The sibling rivalry will continue, but that reflection does oodles and noodles of damage. It's now Zero stepping up, and they're going to get paid the exact same way and retreat right back to Fountain again.
That Phoenix essentially dead to rights. Loki looking pretty low on this left side. No one's able to find him. Invisibility is a great tool. Do you have another one of those in you, man? Because they are chasing after you.
They're gonna find it too. That's a great kill. Caddy can no longer be batting you in the back of your lines. You don't have to worry about anyone being invisible except for Zaylin at this point. And to be fair, Zaylin could just take the place of Caddy, say, hey, hope you don't mind if I just borrow this, takes off Loki's costume and just adorns it themselves. That being said, Look Within, not trying to push the issue. They know just what overextension can do. They've seen it themselves from We Got Baking Soda, now 28 minutes in. 11-37. It just continues to spiral into more dire territory. 20,000 gold lead with Ancient Fury on the mark. That might just expand, but We Got Baking Soda, despite having no Phoenixes to their name, still believe they have a claim to this objective. They're going to step up. It's a 5v4, and it's a life of the party. It's going to find no one. Unfortunately, that Evite didn't quite receive it. Was sent to Spam, and that might be sent to the Grayscale in a second. That River's Rebuke going to find two targets. Zero goes down first. Nazarian next. Spirit of the Nine wins. Won't get the objective. Won't get kills either. Shadow Chair just going to spit at them in retaliation. Fortunately, Alphys didn't quite like that. Going to make them pay for their sins as Fates goes down alongside Brandu. It's only the Kukulkan left. The Danger Noodle is no danger to 5 members of Look Within as they march down the mid lane.
It's all on Shadow Chair to try to defend this Titan, and oh, look at all those Minotaurs and Fire Means. It's going to be an uphill battle for him as Look Within. Yeah, I mean, there it is.
They did
what
it.
do you do? They did it, yeah.
They definitely killed them. They definitely killed them. Look at those, oh, those Minotaurs, they're kissing. Bro, love minion love. That's sick. Adorable. I'm happy. I'm happy for them, bro, honestly. You got to imagine, like, after killing the Titan, like, that's a good place to smooch.
What if we kissed at the
What if we kissed over the corpse of the Order Titan?
Real romantics know all about it. Try that in your next date. Rank date.
Happy Valentine's Day, baby. Got you a gift. It's the head of this Order Titan. I got you a gift. It's a nice game one here for Look Within. I mean, that game was dominant. we liked the picks that we got Baking Soda got. They got the Baron Samity, they got the Athena, they had that rotation ability. They just never seemed to know when to call it quits in some fights.
Yeah, it comes as a consequence of you want to steal objectives, you want to try to get something for your troubles, and the gods that you're playing want to go in. You want to go in with Susanoo, you want to go in with Baron, you have an Athena dash taunt, you have follow up. We should win these fights, but look within, honestly, I think their itemization did wonders for them, respecting everything that we got baking soda had. So they had the proper response. And Caddy's positioning in a lot of fights too. You saw in that Gold Fury fight, look within waited to engage until Caddy was ready to be like, all right, I'm right behind them. Rock and roll, baby, go in. And blew him up. So even though We Got Baking Soda had such good engage, Look Within did an excellent job just maneuvering around it.
Yeah, man. I'm disappointed just because I wanted to see that composition. I thought it was fun. I thought it had some neat tools. Like I said, I love an Unga Bunga caveman combo of an Athena taunt. You called for it. We needed to see Athena baiting more relics and then just initiating more. It seemed like whenever, and we saw it in that throne room fight too, whenever there was some call for CC, it was the double Athena taunt. Where's the follow up? It was a half-hearted tornado, I think, and I don't even think it hit both targets. Same thing off that life of the party. Where's the follow up? You just didn't have the communication necessarily, and that also showed in those reverse rebuke fights sometimes, where one member stays in the waves, other member says, "I don't like to swim. I'm feeling a bit nauseous. I just had a burger. I don't want to deal with all that." Makes sense.
Cramps.
Exactly, right? So I get it. I get that they have these ideas in their heads. They just need to settle on one line of thought, one flow chart to follow to victory. And I think that we got some great tools here and some great players too. So hopefully going to be seeing that happen in game 2, and we're going to have to wait too much longer for it. So don't you dare go anywhere. More Smite in the Sewer coming at you in just a bit. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to some Smite in the Sewer. I'm Deelo, joined here once again by Musi. We got Tess, Almighty Eye in the sky, providing you those sweet, subtle, smooth camera angles as always, as they do. We got you watching at home. We got our friends. We got Baking Soda up against Look Within, and Look Within, man, they're looking to just stomp this one out. We have ways for them on. We got Baking Soda to counter them out. What are those ways, Musi? What's their way back into this series?
So it's gonna start with picks and bans. I think one of the things we need to do is take away Loki from Look Within. That is a character where Caddy was just putting in work. Putting in work everywhere they went. Their positioning was excellent. They knew how to build properly. They had Soul Reaver as well as Heartseeker. I mean, you gotta respect it. It's time to respect ban or respect pick away Loki, right? And I think it's also time to reevaluate what works and what doesn't. I wasn't seeing a lot of success from Baron Samity. I wasn't seeing the success
Yeah,
that I'm used to seeing from Baron Samity, which leads me to believe maybe there's been a bit of a shift in the meta, even over the course of this weekend. Is Baron not as good as we thought they were now that Amaterasu is back in the game? So it's a case by case basis when it comes
of
to these
course.
games. But when it comes to picks and bans, let's maybe put Athena away, opt for something like a Bacchus, or maybe like if you can steal a Fenrir, that'd be ideal. And just come at it with a fresh mindset. You lost game 1, but you haven't lost game 2, and you could still win game 3. So it's nowhere close to over. And I want to see what they do with it.
No, it's absolutely true. I think you're completely correct in terms of maybe just rethinking things, going back to the drawing board a little bit, and maybe taking some of the tools, some of the great things we saw on the side of Look Within. That Odin band says to me, we have a hard time playing around walls. They had a hard time playing around your Moja too. Maybe just grab that to your side instead. The fact that they went pretty confidently, they had 2 shells. Now, granted, of course, shell got nerfed, so shell stocks aren't quite as up as we might like. But they still had a lot of gods that didn't have an easy time getting out of that by any means. Kukulkan, Baron Samity, Athena. No one has a fun time rocking in the wave pool, so maybe just get the wave pool to your side instead.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. I didn't notice that before, but yeah, no, we there wasn't a lot of respect for those Umoja alts now that I think about it. And we just have to make sure that we're properly evaluating what can the enemy team do and what can we do about it. And that is something that Look Within did, and it won them the game. Straight up, it won them the game. They had 2 talismans, purifications, they had proper beads on their carries. They were ready for whatever CC that Baking Soda was
Yeah.
prepared to throw at them. And that wins. That's how you get the fat dub, right? So let's rock and roll, you know?
Let's rock and roll. That's what I say as we do a sick guitar riff and head on in to these P's and B's. I don't know. Look Within now with first pick and first ban as well. They're going to take out that Fenrir. So we got Baking Soda to say, all right, maybe we just try to get quantity over quality, and they're still going to get quality as well. Neath banned away. That's the threat they decide with, and Yamoja's the first pick. Odin could potentially be the answer if we got Baking Soda to make them deal with the same thing, and it will be alongside a Loki. I'm not mad at this, Musi. I'm not upset.
No, honestly, this is good. If I'm Look Within, I'm looking at that. I'm like, all right, that'll be annoying for me to deal with, right? I have my Emoja. I've got my Jingwei, one of the strongest ADCs in the game right now, and
Ooh.
Hakati as well. So that makes me a little worried because you're dealing with characters like Odin and Loki. You know, Odin cage, Loki shut down, Hakati. They've got to open the gates to get away. Oh, and nothing else matters. There's a Zeus locked in the
Whoa!
game. Thunderbringer here to ringer. I'm so
Oh!
ready.
An
Whoa!
epic reference! Did you just reference Epic the musical?
Deelo, are you an Epic fan?
Dear sweet God, we can't get into this right now.
All
We
right,
can't get into this right now. We cannot get into this right now. Okay, Athena, Amaterasu, Bellona are the locks to finish it all off. I mean, Thunder Wielder using Yielder. How do we end up using these comps as we get into this game? It's Look Within. We got Baking Soda game 2. Roll the tape. Musi, these comps, our thoughts.
I'm geeking. Straight up, I'm actually popping off right now. So we got Baking Soda's comp has a lot of big AoE damage. We have Odin Cage to lock people in for Zeus, for Kukulkan Tornado. You have Spirit of the Nine Winds to confirm objectives. You have Bellona to get up in there and fight people, right? And Loki to pick off the stragglers. We got Baking Soda's comp I'm in love with. And then I look over at Look Within comps and I find myself choosing between 2 beautiful looking comps because I see Amaterasu with Athena. I see Jingwei. So much damage, so much CC. Objective burn. They have Yamoja, who is able to give basic attack damage and attack speed to both Amaterasu and Jingwei if they stand in the middle of the Moonstrike. And Hecate opened the gates to start a fight or end it and give themselves a chance to get away. These comps are wild. I'm excited. I'm smiling ear to ear right now. I cannot wait to see who's going to take this first blood. And look at this duel lane. It's Zeus and Odin. Over here, it's like 2 old men ready to rock and roll as Odin looking to take away this speed buff, this aggression. I'm on board, Deelo. I'm so pumped right now.
It's the 2 all-fathers of their very own pantheons trying to school our friends here and Look Within. Being said, Look Within are the ones looking to trying to bring that same energy back, but look at that Loki. Damage on a Brizz's head. That's how it feels, sucker. Now you're going to be suffering the same fate I did game 1. Kate's like, damn, man, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't like that. And, you know, Hakate's got nowhere to go. And the shield that she gives herself doesn't work for physical damage, just magical. So she's protected against Kukulkan, but Loki, you know, knives hurt. Knives, you know, cut all across your back. That's a bad time. So really got to be careful about your positioning. You're going to want some wards. You need to make sure that your Athena jungle, by the way, is ready to back you up. And this is where I think Athena really shines. I don't think Athena support is that great. I think Athena jungle is her best role in the game. Hakati, though, in a bit of danger.
And that's going to be the kill. Man, those shells might do a bit more to give you some shields, but it's not going to be enough. Just slices through it like butter. Nice first blood there falling for. We got Baking Soda. They're like, man, Loki really is a good pick. Nice. And might be trying to find that out themselves is Caddy, seeing how good this Loki really is. Gonna find out how good this Kukulkan is. Shadow Chair comes back with a nice Zephyr, slows them down to give Nazari enough speed to get away. Meanwhile, here in the duo, damage raining down as well. That lightning bolt, though, not going to quite finish the job on a Monster B. I'm liking the aggression we're seeing from We Got Baking Soda because it's being put in the right places and at the right times.
And once again, just like last game, the big turning point is going to be when this Athena hits level 5. But instead of what was happening where Athena, you know, we're more focused on this left lane and ulting from left lane, this Athena is ulting from the jungle. They could go anywhere and it will be good. So now Naz on this Loki, anywhere he goes, Athena will be there as well. So now they have to contend with, like I said before, okay, I'm going to gank this person. I'm also going to be fighting Athena. It's just going to happen, right? So I'm expecting to see a lot of cooldown from this Athena. You can see them starting to build it here, that Ring of Dispel plus the other ring there too. It's just called Ring. I love that.
Get that bling on him and get that kill on Zero. Alfie gonna be able to take that one away without an issue. Just gonna get this Amaterasu fed up once again. Then Azarian just caught in the bushes, snakes in the grass. I gotta mow and might need to get yourself back to that tower before you get a bit mow damage. That reflection almost finishes the job. Not gonna be able to quite send them packing just yet, but that's gonna grant full liberty of this right side jungle to look within. Monster B trying to do the exact same thing over here in the left, just being rude. They're not respecting any boundaries.
And why should you? You are Yamoja G. Okay, Caddy.
Come on,
man. Talk, man. It's rude to interrupt people. And Bologna in 0-2 Bologna against an Amaterasu with a kill up. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, man. That's not a winning situation. Now, in this dual lane, it's looking more like a loss.
Thunderbringer gonna take down Zaylin. Excellent work there to spear them while their death is near. Gets that first kill there in the dual lane for that Zeus. And that's what you need at this point. You need something to feel good about. Not gonna feel good about the River's Rebuke unless you're able to speed your way out there. Give them a little quick thunder clap before retreating back. Give yourself a little clap on the back there, buddy. A nice kill, and good job also eliciting that Yamoja ult too. Meanwhile, Fate's just getting aggressive, grabbing some buffs for themselves. They're trying to show that same disrespect to their jungle as well.
So you have a situation now where your dual lane is looking pretty strong from the perspective of We Got Baking Soda, but your Bologna is not looking as strong. And honestly, I think that's okay, right? Bologna kind of tricks players into thinking that she's like an early game or like a mid-game character. Bologna in Smite 2 is a late game character. She is a character where you need to get your Pharaoh's Curse online. You need to get your Berserker Shield. We gotta get Golden Blade. I don't like Warrior's Axe here, but it does offer... So yeah, chunk, by the way. But I don't like Warrior's Axe here as much as I like some of the other items, but she's still gonna scale super well into late game. The question then remains, does she do better than Ama? And in a 1v1, I prefer Bologna, but in a teamfight setting, the Amaterasu with her auras is going to be a very difficult thing for We Got Baking Soda to deal with. But take a look at Caddy now, trying to meet up with Alfie, but you can see that We Got Baking Soda is right behind the corner.
That dash gonna send them into danger. 3 members strong, gonna take off Caddy before they can lift off the runway. Now it's Alfie in the midst of the tornado, in the midst of the cage, but that's okay. They say it's a Hell in a Cell wrestling match. Let's go. I'm trying to pin him down. Odin gonna eat that Spell Eater before the Raven Shout could come up. It's open. The gate's gonna send Zara right to the left. Could be troublesome. Here comes that Eagles rally. Gonna be able to evade that spread of the 9 wins. Briz stays alive for their troubles. Gonna call this one a draw, but at the same time, to get 1 kill there onto our friend the Athena before they get back to safety.
And what a lovely, gorgeous open the gates, threading the needle there, forcing Zero away from Briz, and then Briz taking that portal afterwards once they start to collapse on them. So it shows that Briz really knows the character that they're playing with right now, and I'm happy to see that. Anytime there's a saucy open the gates, I'm excited. And you can see Briz starting off with this round shield, this physical protection item. I wonder if we're going to see a Breastplate of Valor or something like that. Some extra mana goes well with Book of Thoth and is great for keeping Loki off your back.
Trying to keep Loki away from their own buffs, trying to keep Monster B down in the ground. Once again, Zeus getting a kill here in the dual lane says, these hands are ready for everyone. Now both the support and the carry have fallen to those Thunder Fists. Briz Looking here for Noxonian. Going to be a nice little taunt. That triplicate is going to finish the job with a nice mez as Katie gets the last little flourish. Just get out of this right side jungle, dude. This place is an absolute mess for any member of We Got Baking Soda that tries to step up. Loki's found out, and Bologna's found out twice. I think at that point, you just leave it alone.
But, you know, maybe put some more focus on this duo side that's very clearly seeing success. That Zeus is 2-0 at this point, a level over Jingwei. And Jingwei, everybody's been saying, I've been saying it too, best ADC in the game, but we're seeing something else.
Ooh, we're seeing a nice little sidestep. I like that.
Yeah.
Get them 2 taps going. Them blue suede shoes coming in big for Briz. And without that setup, without that Athena taunt, there is a point to be made about the fact that Kukulkan, a bit less effective. Shadow Chair is a great pilot for this god, but without that easy bake setup, it might be a bit hard to see that damage come through.
So I would expect Kukulkan's going to need something like their Loki to maybe hold somebody in place. You have Odin Cage later in the game, and Fates is rocking that on support, so Odin rotations are going to be on the menu. I'm loving the fact that we get to see Athena in jungle, Odin in support, Smite 2, favorite game of all time. Shoutouts. But look at this Zeus over here getting stepped on by Yemoja.
And losing that lightning bolt could be big. Moonstrike gonna find them twice, and that's not very nice. Zaylen gets the final bit of damage. Katie arrives to the scene as well, just looking aggressively for Nazarian once more. Gets the reach, gets the damage. Look how much that does, and look how little your Flurry Slash even harms me. Moonstrike might finish the job. Assassinate gets them out to safety. Cage going to be evaded there by Katie, but here comes the Eagles rally. Can you dodge this? With a nice blink, you certainly can. Shell going to fall down, and Sherv's Rebuke going to get 3 targets there. Some decent damage to follow it up, but to open the gates, not going to find anyone. Briz decides to take that portal to go. Takes the kill as well on a Fates, thanks to Katie. We got Baking Soda now huddled 4-man strong underneath this tier 1. They have nothing more to say as Look Within rotate to gold.
One of the biggest strengths of Athena jungle is being able to build her damage. For those of you who don't know, her spear scales 70% off of intelligence instead of 20%. That's part of why Athena jungle is so successful. Zeus!
Ooh, not gonna go their way. Look Within, take it, and now it could be Zeus suffering the consequences. The nice little Riptide brings them back in close. Loki trying to distract their attentions, doing so successfully for a bit, but unfortunately, Brandu will receive no pity. They fall at the end of the staff of the Hecate. Now just trying to juke their way on out, but that's an Amaterasu, my friend. A good decoy block buys you a bit of time. That triplicate vision won't find the mark either. Nazarian is going to send them through a nice little goose chase. Let's see who's done their pacers more. The Fitness Grand Pacer test is a multi-aerobic exercise. Aw, he's dead.
Tragic. You were getting through that pretty quickly, too. I thought you had that. I'm not going to lie.
I was close. I was close.
You're close. You get like one more chance through before the game ends, I believe. But you know who's running out of chances? We got Baking Soda, because we saw that they were winning over in the dual lane, but now that this Athena jungle has joined the chat, it's getting kind of difficult over there. And Alfie doesn't have to worry about anything in this solo lane, because you're Amaterasu, you've got Pharaoh's Curse online now, extremely effective against Bologna, who relies on movement and attack speed to do their damage. You saw them try to pop it against Loki, and I appreciate the fact that Loki has that slow immunity to get away from it, but Briz forced to use that ultimate in order to get away from Kukulkan and Odin. You can see the pressure that they can still put out in mid lane, all right? It's not Jover by any stretch of the imagination, but it is looking a little tilty. So you can see Athena getting into some trouble here.
Shadow Chair going to receive a lion's share of that poke. Now, just watching from the outside of the cage, says, get her! Instigator right there. And unfortunately, Monster B catches the stray. Says, what did I do? Eats that Spirit of the Nine Winds, but that's okay. Just a nice little hors d'oeuvre. Not going to do too much damage. Bologna might try to add a bit more. Kate Shield's not going to save you from that damage. Neither will it from the Amaterasu coming in there with a dazzling offensive. Not going to find too much off it. Brandu trying to find their juke shoes. Unfortunately left them at home. They're going to go down. Double kill there for Katie. In the mid lane as Nazarian and Zero both pay for their sins. We got Baking Soda, man. Do not got much left in the tank if these fights keep going awry.
Jingwei opting to pick up a Hasten Fatalis. That is 3 million IQ, right? Because one of Zeus's biggest strengths lies in the fact that he's quick. We saw it early in the game, you know, getting away from that Yamoja ult and making so much space. That dude will just get out of there, right? You got the winds on your back. You're rocking and rolling fast as lightning, if you will. But with Hasten Fatalis, Jingwei's able to stick on him, able to get more autos off. Zeus doesn't have a dash to speak of, only that movement speed stim. So with that Hasten Fatalis, Zaylin is able to chase down Brandupity and find a winning position. Look, they're 3 levels ahead. That is not something you want to contend with, especially because Jingwei doesn't need to build crit right away. They've got it in the pocket.
Especially when you consider how they were ahead initially. You know, it wasn't ahead initially? 0. They're not ahead now either. Rampage there for Katie as they just tower dive in. It just feels disrespectful, but it's just good play at the end of the day. Now trying to put that same damage onto Fates with a bit of extra poke from that bouncing bubble. Zaylin at liberty is to invade the jungle. Look at these crits finding the back of the poor old man. Leave the geriatric alone, you psychopath. Zaylin says absolutely not. Rolls in the chopper, AC 130, guns down that poor senior citizen in the duo lane. Another kill there for Look Within.
And you saw Katie ult from solo lane all the way over to dual lane. That global presence putting in work as Odin is putting in some coffins.
Yeah, that cage not going to save you. Just going to be your final resting place. Briz finishes the job. Look Within, handling that global rotation ability so much better than we got to see from we got Baking Soda in Game 1. And maybe, Musi, that's just because there's not a Morgan to match that aggression, to match that same pace. But at the end of the day, the proof's in the pudding, and it might just be on this Fury too. Alfie gets that solo kill. No, it's actually a 1v2 onto Nazarian. Zero might go down as well as the Fury's taken by Look Within. Gonna leave Zero alive just to tell the rest what happened there this day. And now just take a red buff as well for their troubles. Zero, nice little disarm. Gets a bit of health back with the Scourge as well. That's A-okay. Alfie, with the great escape and the great red buff steal, gets back to base.
So Amaterasu, again, we talked about it, the big debut back after the ban. Oh my goodness, Shadow Chair, no!
That's so unfortunate. Continue.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, just a dead Shadow Chair. But, you know, Amaterasu, gone, right? Banned. Fucked. Unfortunate. Now that she's back, we're starting to see, oh, yeah, that god's actually really, really strong, you know? She's got so much going for her, especially with these changes to Pharaoh's Curse, to Golden Blade. She can opt for either an int build or a attack speed build, and Zeus is going to opt for a life insurance plan as they get picked off by Zaylin. But Katie's there too. There it is again, Deelo. Global
That's nice.
Ultimate. This Athena is everywhere and nowhere at once, and it's almost impossible to deal with.
Katie's an attention hog, bro. Like, I was there too, remember? It's that guy that can never not be part of an action. He's just got huge amounts of FOMO for this Athena. That's actually what you want from your Athena. You want an Athena that's self-conscious about not being at the function, because that means they're going to be there on time, ready to back you up when necessary. Wasn't here, because Zaylin is now 5 levels up on the Zeus. All the excitement we had about this pick is just not being made good on, unfortunately, with the results we're seeing now. Look Within, getting more results here in terms of the objectives. That Pyromancer goes down 15 minutes at 16-4. Talk about the gold lead after this FG poll, because that's what Look Within are looking for right afterwards. We got Baking Soda have members around in the form of the Bologna. The rest to actually contest, it might just not be anything to say about the matter. Kukulkan can't reach it in time, and it's going to be nice zoning duties there by Monster B. In fact, Shadow Chair can't reach it at all. They're dead. FG on 5 members, and we got Baking Soda only have 4 left alive. Might just be 3 in a second. Odin puts down the cage, going to dissuade them from following. And now with that, 16 minutes, gold lead, 12,000 the way of order.
And I gotta keep talking about this Athena build. Look at this. They've got a Polynomicon and Staff of Miriam
Broken.
online. Yeah, so good. When that spear skill 70% off of intelligence, why not deal an additional 65%? You might as well. Even as we got Baking Soda tries to find a fight here.
Another nice airstrike there by Zaylin to not only get the damage off, but reposition. Just using that so expertly. Young Year's Might gonna go wide. Briz just jumping around in place before they finish the job. This is just cruel. Leave them alone. Gonna be snipping the thread of life in just a second. That opened the gates, brings Odin back in for round 2. Fight! Nazarian not gonna be around to see it as they fall as well. Father and son here on the left side of the map will go down hand in hand.
And I wanna keep talking. Oh my god, Katie! Katie,
Stop.
I'm trying to speak! It's my turn. But I want to talk about Katie some more. With this Staff of Mirrodin, what it lets you do is it lets you taunt and then taunt again, right? Once is enough. Twice is awful. Shadow Chair's dead. Look Within is looking pretty good. And I'm starting to get really worried for Baking Soda here. I mean, at this point...
Starting?
You know, all right, maybe the fear has been mounting a bit, but I'm trying to think of what they can do, and I'm drawing a bit of a blank. Maybe you gotta find, like, a kill somewhere, a pick, but who are you gonna pick among Look Within? Surely not Zaylen, surely not Katie, not Alfie. Nazareth gets picked off there. Are you gonna find Riz? Are you gonna find Monster B? Look Within wants this Phoenix.
I think you're just going to try to stay alive at this point if you're this Odin. Fates, still to their credit, got the gumption to stand up against them, saves that Phoenix for a bit more time. Being said, third fear is going to be up in a moment. Once this tier 2 goes down, got to imagine Look Within rotate for that next. And you can't pick someone when they have FG. I think the answer is wait for them to take a step too far. We got Baking Soda are not infallible. Unfortunately, this Odin going to be fallable in a second as they fall back to the fountain. Rampage here for Alpha. It's just a competition about who can get these accolades quicker, Athena or the Ama. So many kills being racked up here, and look at this. That Moonstrike, if it finds its mark, could mean more danger, but Zero going to be spared from the onslaught. Trying to rotate in, looking for this right side Phoenix. It's Look Within. Going to be able to grab that objective, and now moving forward, the front line, just eating all the damage. Venom of Olympus going to get a bit more mitigations. He's right there. You're lazy, buddy. Alfie, though, takes down Brandu. They're in the midst of the storm. The Thunderbringer going to do some decent damage to Katie, forcing them to back off. Alfie going to go down. Nazarian for trade. Zero as well. What has it cost you? They're suffering, and the rest of Look Within can take the suffering from you. Only Odin left to stay alive and watch as everything crumbles around them. The rest of Look Within lurking in the bushes. The hyenas trying to find the last scraps of damage onto this poor Odin. The All-Father finally laid to rest for the unstoppable on Zaylen. It's the deicide. Now the question is, can Look Within finish the job? It's only the Thunderbringer up once again. They're joined quickly by Loki, but there's still plenty of minions to contend with, and the River's Rebuke as well. The elements are against you. History's against you. The damage is on your head, and Zaylen will find their head. Zaylen gonna go for the double to finish off the job onto Nazarian. Bologna's back up. Don't give him another deicide. Don't give him the triple. Gonna be able to get back to Fountain quickly enough, and the Titan will have to be their next mark. Look Within. Take the set in 2.
They can't keep getting away with it. They can't keep getting away with it.
Oh, bruv.
That was a... There's a word that I'm looking for. I don't want to say, like, landslide, but that was brutal, right? Look Within finding so much success with their comp there, even though I loved Baking Soda's comp. It had so much spunk. It had so much spice and flair, and it was so much just... I wanted to see it succeed, is what I'm trying to say. But Look Within, they have got Jingwei and Amaterasu and Hecate. They've got all the really best characters in the game. We got Baking Soda, Bologna, and Zeus, right? We don't see a lot of play with them for a reason, unfortunately. They just did not find too much success. But you know who did find success? This Athena jungle. Try it in your ring games. Holy cow.
Dude, everyone gets one death on the side of Look Within. They're like, we just gotta try it once, you know? YOLO. Or in this case, Yold. Yold for my friends on Look Within. You only live twice. No, Yolt. Yolt. You only live twice.
And unfortunately, Look Within will be the ones to carry on because Baking Soda does get limbed here. So a good last stand from We Got Baking Soda, but they did not have the W. But Look Within does. It's right there in the name.
Yeah, we got Baking Soda at the very least, though. That's some sort of consolation. And if there's a player I want to really throw credit to on their side, they had good tools in general, but I really think Shadow Chair had a very good performance between both of these games. Retaining 2 and 4 is no easy feat when Look Within were playing so aggressively and rotating so much across all of the map. Especially like Kukulkan, you're a pretty vulnerable target, but the piece of spaghetti did not get broken too often. So credit there to Kukulkan, and credit to the rest of We Got Baking Soda as well. They put up a hell of a fight. fight. Look within, though. Congratulations. You guys are going to be continuing on. Your season does not end here, but unfortunately, our time on stream does. That is all we have here for you today with these Smite in the Sewer sets. It's been Look Within versus We Got Baking Soda. I've been Deelo. Joined here by Musi Clan, we had Tess, Almighty Eye in the Sky. Please make sure to thank our production for all they do. You cannot even imagine the amount of work on the scenes, behind the scenes they are putting in to keep the sewers running. And that being said, thank you, loyal, obedient viewer, for your time. We hope you've enjoyed this set just as much as we have. Keep an eye to the sky for more Smite in the Sewer content. Every weekend we cover Latin in Spanish. We cover the Swiss off-bracket games or off-air games in these brackets. We cover damn near everything under the sun. Follow all of the socials of all of our Sewer Squad members. And with that, guys, good games and good night. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Smite in the Sewer. From you goes above. We're looking for Pagon here, baby. You're coming to party. You're going to party in the grave. Shinto gets put down for trade by Rat Milk.
Holy pentashell, Batman!
Porfa, mire atrás, es un infeliz de horror. No puede ser yo, inmediatamente matado por parte de Well aún antes del partido empezó. Movimientos escuchado y acá está el apoyo. Ha reversado los ojos, ha reversado los miembros. Jisoo muerto, matanza por Belona. Y dos miembros más puede ser F6. Ellos han tomado tus consejos, Pico.
F6.
Juan ha perdido.
Anubis lived again.
What do we get him? Some instigation there, but the spear wins this time around. Gets the double kill. Beautiful work by Haddix. Unfavorable odds. They take it in spades. Bologna trying to finish the job now. Chains and whips excite me, they say. That Gunger's Might does awful damage. The minions trying to participate. The bludgeon will not be juked, but they might be outranged. The Amanita, and now with renewed fighting spirit, they dive back in. Delayed triple kill. Haddix stays strong. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the quickness with Smite in the Sewer. Haddix in the ground. First blood. Wow, Tess, nice work. Just in time. I'm Deelo. Joined here by Blaine.
To the pregame, the clock hasn't even started yet. What?
Yeah, I'm about to say, 30 seconds in the game, buddy. You sure about that one? Welcome to Smite 2 casting, all right? It's kooky out here.
Put out a bunch of damage, gathering around this Anubis, popping 5 shells. Deelo, 5
Show the sheet.
shells.
Show the sheet.
It's time.
No,
Do this
Tess,
cheat.
bring it back. Tess, bring it back. We gotta show
Production, put me back in the sheet. I don't
Tess,
care
bring it
about
back. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Look at this. Look at this.
Look at that.
Buy,
Look at that.
Buy right
Look
now.
at that. Profit.
Right now. Boom. You win. You literally win all the time. It's